Okay. All right, Texans fans, we got some love coming from the head coach for a specific position, and that is at running back. And I think you can understand why. And I'm not saying either Damian Pierce or Devin Singletary are light your hair on fire, 1,500-yard guys. That's not what I'm saying with it. But I'm not going to get in the way of what DeMeco Ryans is saying. So in this video, we're going to talk about what he likes about his running backs, why they fit the system that they're running, how they fit, and we're going to take a look at what he has in his two running backs, because one you're very familiar with and one you're probably not that familiar with. So let's look at what Devin Singletary did when he was with the Buffalo Bills as well. So here is the article that we're looking at where he says Dameon Pierce and Devin Singletary will be excellent. All right. So this was again on a fantasy alert. I love getting these and then actually talking about what it means on the real football field. So here's what he said. Devin and DP, so that's Devin Singletary and Dameon Pierce, both guys have done a good job, Ryan said. And it's like, okay, great. They've done a good job. Whatever. Okay. He said they'll be excellent. That's a different word. That's a different word. They will be excellent in our zone scheme and with our gap scheme as well. They'll be fine. So they're both doing a really good job. So he starts out with the word good. Then he flips it to excellent. All right. He mentions exact schemes, zone and gap. He said they'll be fine. So they're both doing a really good job. So he uses good, excellent, fine, really good. So he's all over the place. I think what you see in this, we'll go back to this article. What you see in this is coaches like to do this. They don't want to give too much hype. I think sometimes they get excited about what a running back's doing or what a position group is doing, how they're going with the offensive line and the success that they're having. And they don't want to get out there too excited because they don't want to give away too much of what they're doing. So they start with a normal word, then they can't help but tell and show a little bit of excitement, and then they try and taper it back down. And I think that's what's happening. So back to the article real quick. Pierce is the familiar face. You know that. He had 939 yards rushing. He had 4 touchdowns. I had him on one of my fantasy football teams. He only played in 13 games. The second-year back's in the midst of learning a new system under Ryans and new offensive coordinator. If you can have success running in what Lovie Smith's offense was last year, you can have success in this offense running the football. I promise you. And I'll show you that he actually did have success. He's going to have a new co-star in Singletary. It's a 5th-year running back. He was signed to a 1-year deal. He amassed over 3,000 yards and 16 touchdowns, coming off 2 consecutive 800-yard seasons on the ground. This is solid. And this is exactly what the Houston Texans need. This is exactly what they need. They need solid running backs. So let's keep talking about these guys and what they're showing for the Texans. So Dameon Pierce, I'm just going to give you some stats here, and this is behind PFF, so it's behind a paywall. I don't want to show this article, but you know what the numbers were. He had 4.3 yards per carry, 939 rushing yards, easily would add 1,000. He's already said that that's his goal this year is to get 1,000 yards. And I thought it was interesting that he said 1,000. He could have easily said 12, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500. I think he could have said those things because he only played in 13 games. He's going to be in a better system, but I think he also knows that he's going to share the rock a little bit. I wouldn't expect him to break the 300 carry mark. I don't think they're going to run him into the ground. I think that's one of the reasons that Devin Singletary is here, because they want to give him the ball 250 times. He ran it 280 times last year. He had a rushing grade of 85. Like, it's really, really solid. He had 62 missed tackles. 62. Yards after contact per attempt, 3.3. That means he only on average was getting 1 yard before he had contact. That's solid. That's solid. And he had 22 explosive runs. 22 explosive runs. Meanwhile, Devin Singletary, not quite as remarkable after contact, 2.85 yards per carry after contact, had 21 explosive runs. That's runs of 10 yards or more. He got 4.6 yards per carry in an offense that was a little more balanced. But I think you're going to like seeing what he does here. He had a rushing grade of 83. So he was even better. The problem was Singletary. The reason he didn't get more carries is because he put the ball on the ground. He had 3 fumbles. Pierce had 4 fumbles. So that's something you're going to have to look at. That's going to be something you're going to have to be careful about is ball control. And DeMeco Ryans as a defensive minded guy, he's going to bring a good defense, but he's also going to bring with him a very similar mindset to the one they had in San Francisco. We are going to run the ball. We're going to run the ball well. We are going to control the game with our offense. We're not going to be overly fast on offense. We are going to take our time, and we are going to make teams do multiple things. And I think when you have 2 good running backs, and I'm not saying either guy's a top 10 back in the league, because right now they're just not. Pierce has more of a chance to get to that level, okay, than Singletary, because Singletary's already kind of shown what he is, which is a really good number 2 back. That's what he is. You're not going to be happy if he's your starting running back and you have to give him the ball 300 times a year, but you're going to be happy with him if he's your number 2 back and you're giving him the ball 100 or 200 times a year. Like, that's not bad. And that's what he did last year with Buffalo. And he was kind of their number 1 back. And when he got the rock more, he did just fine. Over 800 yards both of the last 2 years. It's been good. And not only was it good, he was able to play in almost every game. So if I'm not mistaken on anything, I could be mistaken on that. But anyways, this is solid for them. So, you're sitting here and all of a sudden you're realizing, like, maybe we have something going. The best friend of a rookie quarterback is a good running game. It's a good running game. It's that simple. It's that simple. And then they just re-signed Titus Howard, right? Didn't they sign him to like a 3-year, $54 million contract, something like that? He's coming off the best year of his career. Okay. Here we go. Let's move into something good. You got Tunsil on the left side. You're all set at your tackles. So you have your tackles bookend. That's really good for Stroud. You've already proven that the running backs can do well. You bring in Dalton Schultz, who is a great tight end, or at least a good tight end. Like, he's proven to be a good tight end, and he will be respectable. Yeah, you got some work to do on the wide receivers. I know. But run the ball well, play action, all this kind of stuff. And I think you guys could be finding yourself in a really exciting time. So, hey, if you're new to our channel, we started this thing only a couple months ago. It's going really well so far. We love football and we love the smaller media market teams. I know Houston's not a small market. Trust me, I get that. But you're not going to hear about it much on SportsCenter. So I think it's really exciting. We love talking about the Texans. So if you're a big Texans fan, there's going to be multiple videos a week going out on the Texans. So please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the thread below, and we'd be happy to have you as part of the community here at Sports Talk Extra. All right, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.